Yeah, I'm ready. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
What is this project all about? Well, this is the week in between Christmas, so yesterday was Boxing Day. My girlfriend Marta always goes away, goes back to Poland to see her family. We thought this was going to be our last month in the warehouse space, so I wanted to make use of it and get as many musicians together as I could. Just record some songs that I've been working on for a long time. It was good to kind of have some kind of time pressure or a deadline to get everything finished by. And it was the perfect kind of pressure to put myself under. There's nothing like the risk of social humiliation to, you know, gee you up to actually do something, so it worked out quite well. I think in general I was just drunk, just saying to people, yeah, I'm going to do recording over Christmas. Do you want to be involved? Yeah, I think I just asked Nick to be involved in a as a musician at first, and he showed quite an interest in recording it. So
But you should move the entire studio into your,
Yeah.
into your house.
Well, as soon as I found out he was so enthusiastic, he was willing to move his whole studio into here. I was like, okay. Without Nick's enthusiasm and kind of bringing everything together, it would just be me in a 4-track and some people clapping hands and singing Kumbaya, I suppose. No. I mean, like up to that bit there was better the first time.
Okay.
I just missed some of the rhythmic things.
So tell me which bits.
Yeah, so from here.
So just to keep from there to the end. Like, from there to the band coming in.
Yeah.
No problem.
So Rosemary should be here very soon. And the others as well.
Exciting film with me clicking buttons.
I have to do more vocals not tomorrow but the next day. But we're just waiting for the band to get here, who I don't really know. I've never met Tom or Ben, but I've been assured they're very nice people.
How do you know them?
Through Nick, Rodri, who's going to play keys and saw and whatever else we ask him to. He's worked with the drummer Ben before, Ben Handysides.
And you.
Nick's been in a band with both of them. And Tom, the bass player, he's going to play double bass, but he's not going to bring that today. I think he's going to bring some weird fretless 5-string bass. Whoa, yeah.
Amazing.
But he says he can slap, and I want some slap on the a cappella thing we did earlier. A bit like Speed Demon by Michael Jackson.
Yeah, I would say.
Yeah? Speed Demon. Maybe not that fast, but pretty fast.
Alright, we've done
So
a
just
little bit
waiting
so
on them,
far.
really.
Oh yeah.
Done some a cappella and some guitar,
Good.
but not much else really.
Drums are taking some time.
Well, as long as he's in communication, that's a good sign.
He's on his way.
Okay.
But he's nowhere.
I'm thinking tonight we might start with the river.
Brave.
We might as well get straight to it. So all the parts are fairly simple in their individual.
Don't you think it's the most difficult one to actually make sound any convincing? I'm not saying that it won't succeed. I'm just saying that.
As a starting point.
I just mean that some of the other songs are more likely to immediately sound nice and thus instill confidence in the.
Okay. Well, that was my thought because the parts were simple.
I don't think it's simplicity you have to worry about.
Okay, it's
'Cause
the
I think-
initial impression. Okay.
Yeah, we have to really make sure that when the bass player and the drummer turn up, they don't think we're a bunch of flids.
Yeah.
I mean, that first day before the band turned up, we'd done a lot of vocals for the song that ended up having Axe on it.
We started Roll Me Over as well, didn't we? But yeah, it felt like a bit of a false start at the beginning because we didn't really get started as a band until almost the evening.
It's all right, Bern. Don't be disheartened.
No, I'm sure it'll be fine. If not, we can just slap our bellies and clap our hands. Oh, afraid Jane's making a phone call.
Hello. How far away are you? Oh yeah. Cool. All right. I'll see you in a bit. All right. No worries. Hey. We've been ready for quite some time. All right. Cool. See you in a bit. Bye.
Was that flex line trying not to be angry?
I essentially was taking Nick at his word that Tom and Ben were actually any good.
Well, because I'd only met them sort of about 3 times before, and I've met them just doing a gig where I just turned up and played keys, and they were like the rhythm section. I was just like, oh, these people can play.
I'm Alex. I'm Ben. Ben, nice to meet you. Thanks for coming down.
How you doing?
Drum and bass.
And then sort of discovered that Ben knew Rodri, and so that sort of, I don't know, in my mind sort of gave me the idea that it wouldn't be like a total strangers. Everyone at least knew one other person that was in the room, so it wasn't just sort of, I think people had the confidence to be, to tell other people when they were playing wrong or right.
This is the point where you just basically have to play the song while we listen.
I got no sense, got no money, got no influence, that's not what I need. There's one thing in this world, I choose to do me good. Step outside of yourself and say hello. It's a question of integrity, don't show money, I'm a big sympathy, someone you pay to see. There's one thing in this world, I choose to do me good. Step outside of yourself and say hello.
Stay on F, C. G.
I think I'd quite like to do rhythmic.
Got no flexibility, got no money, got no influence, that's not all I need. There's one thing in this world, I can choose you to be girl. Step outside of yourself and say hello. Chorus. Oh, sing hello, 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 hello. Sing hello, 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 hello.
So what are you doing today, Lewis?
We're going to start with cheese on toast and tea. We've set up the drums. I played some drums. It was really quite awful. We're waiting for Ben to get here. He's due to be here in 11 minutes. We're going to start playing some drums and some bass and start working on whatever we can. Rodri might come in the afternoon a bit later. Should be good. I want to try and get him on the harmonium. And that's it, really. Try and get as much done as we can. But the key is to get the drums down, because then we can build on top of that. And especially late into the night, we can do whatever we want. This kitchen is shrinking by the hour. It's not going to be as intense as yesterday. I know yesterday was pretty full on, 3 hours of.
Yes, indeed. Straight in the deep end.
3 hours. Don't get it wrong.
We got time to get it right today. So.
Cool.
So, I think we're going to start with Roll Me Over, as it's pretty straightforward.
Do you want to play a good take that you got of that yesterday?
Yeah, well, from sort of a production sort of concept for me was that, you know, this isn't a dead space. This isn't like a recording studio. This is like a warehouse with a converted flat attached to it.
Are we getting there, Nick?
This shouldn't happen. Yeah. There's a lot of noise which hadn't sort of anticipated, like the heating and the plumbing and all sorts of stuff.
I'm just glad they weren't working downstairs in the architect's workshop, or the building site wasn't going. I suppose that was a good thing about it being the week between Christmas and New Year, that there wasn't the usual sonic chaos surrounding this room.
So every morning they would just be woken by the sound of this like enormous like thudding sound coming up through the microphones and stuff. It's like, what the hell is that? So we thought, you know, to sort of tie it into the building and how everything else is sort of
I definitely
related.
wanted to get the character of this place into the recording, because we're not going to be here for long. It's going to get knocked down quite soon, and I think we did end up keeping a lot of the character of the room musically, if that makes any sense. Well, I'll always think of it. I think the space and the music are kind of intertwined in a way.
And like the horn going off at the end of Roll Me Over,
Yeah.
which is normally you'd think of just cutting that off, but it's sort of it just seemed nice just to leave it in there.
Nick is a big recording enthusiast, so he's got some interesting techniques that he wants to try out, like using some natural reverb and good chords. That should be fun to get on film. And just to watch Nick around musical instruments and recording equipment is quite amusing anyway. He does get quite carried away with himself. Right. It's like watching a mad scientist with doing an experiment.
Yeah.
I've never done this before.
Very excited.
So
At the beginning of Back to the Future, when Marty's putting the amplifier on.
it may sound shit. So we gave up any sort of idea of like trying to deaden the space and hang blankets up, and it was to try and make the space as much a part of the sound. So for example, with the drums on the river, we ended up sending the drums really loud into a speaker into the hallway. So rather than using like reverb like on the computer or reverb machine, we just had the sound of these drums just exploding in a corridor and like mic'd up from the distance, which it was quite close to Phil Collins, but it was sort of fun.
This is better, I think. Is that enough? All right. That was weird.
That was pretty weird. I was filming a completely static thing the whole time.
He was doing pretty much the same thing.
How's it gone today, chaps?
It started really well. We started with the least kind of complicated songs first, and we started with a double bass, which was really fun. Never recorded a double bass before, so that was great. And Tom said that he wasn't sure whether it was any good, which turned out to be rubbish. So that was.
Yeah, he knows his way.
It was a long day. The tunes got progressively more difficult to nail, but I think that was people getting tired and stuff. But we got there in the end, and I'm really happy with the way it sounds. I was pleasantly surprised by how amazing the musicians actually are. You know, what more could we ask for? The guys, they may have heard some rough demos, but not with any singing. So basically within 2 days, taught 6 songs, recorded 6 songs to a really pleasing standard, and come on.
Yeah, I mean, you'd be hard pushed to find a couple of musicians available to do that with that skill,
Yeah.
but also with the enthusiasm for the music that you want to do as well.
Yeah, because it's been a funny project, because I think initially I was asking for 4 days with this, that's not going to happen, but we're still talking maybe a couple of days work, especially for the 2 boys today, like Ben and Tom. We've been up 2 days over their Christmas holidays just to do something that they've never really heard before, so you know, it's really admirable of them to kind of throw themselves in like that.
Sort of made sense because they work as like a rhythm section and have done so for like a decade or so.
That's why it worked today.
Sort of
Us
makes
getting them
sense
both done at the same time, and on a couple of the songs it really did add something having that, because he said that, you know, they've worked together so much before. There is that natural synergy of kind of just syncopating between the two.
Well, and they were quite adamant about recording
Yeah.
together.
Yeah, and to be honest, we were just like, we just want to get the drums done. Everything else can go on top of that, but there is the added element of people playing together, and something else came through on a couple of the songs, definitely. So, you know, they were right.
And hopefully they had fun.
I think they did.
What's happening tomorrow?
Tomorrow, so Rodri is going to record electric piano, harmonium and saw. Actually, I've got guitar to do, I've got banjo to do.
I mean, we can
singing
start before
to do.
10.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, okay. Alright. We can do that.
I think we should start before 10. Well, I'll start before 10 and do all the stuff which I thought about doing now, but just can't be bothered.
Alright, just wake me up with coffee. Roger's the kind of guy that really takes hold of a situation. He's a real kind of galvanizing force, like about anything really. It's you kind of just have to grab onto his coattails and let him run with things. And he's the ideal person to have in that situation because I taught him most of the music beforehand, so I was able just to let him kind of take charge of musical direction, which was great. Took a lot of pressure off me.
Sure, a little go. There, that. Do you see what I mean? He just misses that snare hit.
Yeah, that's weird.
He hits something, but it isn't the snare. Are you pacing the snare?
Yeah. I'll paste the overhead as well.
Well, I think that's where the. I think it's where the. Do you know what I mean? It's just it loses a.
Yep.
It sounds a bit apologetic.
A lot of the instruments used came about through circumstance of what was available. When I first had the idea, Nick said he knew a lot of musicians. There was one stage there was talk of having a harp player come in, so I was very much up for trying to use whatever was available. Like I had a banjo and I've never really played that very often. I only found out about Roger playing the saw a couple of weeks before, which was like, oh my god, we've got to have that involved.
Somewhere. Do you still want your...
Traditional Appalachian folk instrument. Yeah, it's my heritage.
You're from the mountains, aren't you?
Yeah, well, yeah, Dunstable Downs. So what am I playing this on?
Generally the quiet bits.
Nah, one more.
Well, I think a lot of these ideas, or certainly how it was explained to me, was to not do what we'd normally do of sort of guitar, bass, drums. It'll sound like a rock band. And also recording in a sort of space like this, not sure it would have worked if it had been like really massively loud and like the sound would be bouncing around. So using sort of more intimate instruments sort of helped it sort of make the most of where it was being recorded.
I was up for using whatever was at our disposal, and I think we just about did use anything at our disposal, including our neighbour chopping wood, which was great fun.
Where do you want it to go? Where do you want it to be? There's tons here.
We'll have one quite close and then do another one from down there.
This will easily get over that side.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I was
See if
thinking
the whole building shakes when he does it. I was watching the other day. I thought he was chopping a bit off every time when he was hitting the axe. My God,
Start chopping, Joe. Okay.
he is like having a battle to the death with that block of wood. Brilliant.
But it's also like on the
Long way down.
long way down. If we need any sort of like, you could have like on the beginning of each beat. It's just like.
Dr. Jonathan Hathaway. I believe I'm an axe solo on one of these tracks.
How do you end up doing this?
I don't know actually. I guess purely by the fact I live downstairs. I think that's probably about it. Yeah. I don't own an axe actually. I borrowed an axe. I have access to an axe.
Yes.
Don't look at me. I
Oh,
just
that's
came
it.
round for dinner. That's why I'm on it. That's all. I just bought fish cakes and tartar sauce, which I'm looking forward to. And someone said, "Come sing," and I went, "Well, I'll never say no to that." So I came and sang.
Rachel. I've heard her walk past before singing in a very operatic way, and she's a trained opera singer. But I don't know what she could sing. But
What about the long way down? Could be something in that.
she's going to be like. She could go high, man. The intro.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just double up with the saw.
Brilliant. One, and
That'll take 2 seconds.
yeah.
Just let it loose.
Hello, 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 hello. Maybe she could do that.
Yeah, do that. The intro.
Because I need the hello, 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 hello. Hello, 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 hello. Step outside of yourself and sing, say hello. But you sing, oh, you're broken up inside. Well, open up your eyes to what your heart don't see. No, that doesn't work. Just step outside of yourself and sing, say hello. Should I just keep going then? If there was a... What am I singing there? If there's... Yeah, okay. Well, open up your eyes to what your heart don't... It doesn't work. Lyrically, it just doesn't work. Open up your heart to what your eyes don't see. That would work. Okay, I apologise. But I did some good stuff there.
Lewis?
Oh shit, I'm tuning the wrong string. These aren't pegged up right. They're all in different pegs to what you expect them to be. So that's why I'm going more and more out of tune. Goodbye, Irene. Irene, Irene, Irene.
Just punch in on that last bit.
Yeah. We need to be dead on if I'm going to ask other people to do it. Goodbye, Irene. Nice.
Let's go. Silence. Roll it.
Silence. That means no noise.
Oh, man. 2 in the morning. We've got a cello turning up at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning to do cello, more drums. We've got Steve Lomax turning up around about 2 to do guitar, maybe some banjo. We've then got various singers might or might not turn up, and might or not. Some singers might do some stuff. And then we've got to get this boy to do some singing.
I did some.
He did some, but not all of it. Busy day. And we've got to mix it all as well.
It's all going to be finished by midnight tomorrow night.
It's going to be as close as can
So-
humanly be done. I mean, the last day, by that point, I think that must be about the fourth day, just given up sleeping completely, and everyone else had sort of gone to bed at about 3ish, and I was up at sort of 6 or 7 editing all the bits so that it made sense for people to sing on.
We did lots of group vocals,
Mm.
which was quite fun. We got everyone doing group vocals on Goodbye Irene.
I think that was quite a challenge because we only had 2 pairs of headphones for about 8 people, so we ended up having Lewis sitting on the staircase just like miming the timing with a pair of headphones on, and just in the hope that people could sing in time. It actually ended up sounding really good.
Irene, goodbye Irene, it's so sad to see you go, but there's more to life than growing old, so goodbye Irene, goodbye Irene.
We had Steve coming that day, on the last day, didn't we? And Steve, delivered on the guitar solos.
Hello.
It was really fun doing the guitar solo with the putting the amp outside and getting the sound of the corridor out there. That was so loud. Yeah. Because Deb's left. She said she could hear like at the other end of the street. It was so loud. I don't think our neighbours enjoyed the guitar solo as much as I did.
I think the important thing with that is that he learnt the part at that volume as well. It wasn't just like, let's work this out and then do it really
A
loud.
lovely guitar player. What? How's it go?
I felt the pace of things had started to get a little bit too leisurely, and that what I hadn't realised
Drink
is
was taking hold.
drink was taking hold for some people, but I discovered that a lot of the reason why there hadn't been any vocals is that the words hadn't been written, which started to become a bit of an issue.
It's not working. I hate doing words so much. Music is fun. Words is pain. Pure pain.
So how do you normally start a song, Lewis?
One of two ways. One, I'll just be messing about on an instrument and come across something and just start warbling on top. But a lot of these actually, because I haven't had access to a piano or a keyboard, I've just been doing it walking along the street and getting the melodies first and then finding the chords underneath, which is quite new for me to do it that way. I think the melodies have been strong before. Sometimes maybe before I've had the melodies following an interesting chord sequence rather than the other way around. So, and then I'll have the key kind of chorusy bits, or the first lines I'll always have, but it's always last minute filling in the gaps, and this is the last minute filling in the substantial.
Literally last minute, what you've got a few hours to go.
I've written most of the words for half the songs.
What are you working on now? What's in your head?
Out of your league, or out of our league, I don't know what it's called yet. So I'm halfway through it. I don't like writing lyrics. I've always been a big fan of the musical arrangements of things, and often recording in the past, once the singing and the lyrics go on, I've been disappointed, I've liked it less. So maybe that's why I avoid doing it. And also I always feel that if I like the music, I don't want to, I always feel like I have to do it justice with really good lyrics, and I don't think I'm that lyrically talented, so I'm always a bit trepidatious about doing them. But got them done in the end. Okay, that's 2 verses.
The lyrics on the river, I think they finished writing them at about 8 o'clock. I think Martha was expected back at about 9 o'clock. So we're just like literally the very, very last moment.
Right, I need to take care of this.
Was it kind of any point where you felt like it was all falling apart and that you weren't going to get it finished?
Yes. I think on the first day, when the band hadn't arrived, I wasn't too confident that we were going to get much done. But especially on the last day, I think having just been in this room for 4 days, not having most of the lead vocals done, I think at one point we had a lot of people in here, and when you're trying to record singing and there's 10 people just breathing even, that's going to get picked up, so I was getting quite stressed at that point. But it was a huge relief. I think it was really nice by the end. We had finished like pretty much bang on the schedule. I think we were both surprised that we managed to do that. There was a real sense of achievement at the end, because we had actually done something really worthwhile, and in such a short time period I think we were really chuffed with what we'd managed to achieve.
I think everyone was really sort of pleasantly surprised how well it all went, and there was sort of talk of that it'd be nice to do it on a stage.
Initially I didn't have any plans to do a live performance. I just wanted to get the recording done, see how it turned out. And I was very aware that people were doing me a favour and Nick a favour to just take part. And in the end, it's more the people that took part that took it in that direction than anything coming from me. So I was just quite surprised that people were enthusiastic to do something like that. We've had to replace some singers who've dropped out, and I'm really happy with the people we've brought in. I was a bit disappointed because I wanted to keep the same people that were on the original recording, but I know it's not possible, and I'm confident that everything's going to go well.
You just got to learn the words.
Yeah. Yeah. I can do it. I can do it.
La 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 la, it's a long way down. La 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 la, it's a long way down. Boom.